Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here again to plunge into some really compelling sources, trying to pull out those nuggets of
Yeah.
knowledge, cut through the noise and help you get properly informed.
That's good.
And today we're tackling a question that, well, it echoes through pretty much every stage of our careers, our lives, really.
Hmm.
It sparks endless debate.
Hmm.
What is the ideal relationship between our work and our life? It's kind of a perennial puzzle, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And it feels, I don't know, more urgent now than ever with everything being so hyper-connected.
Exactly. The lines between, professional and personal, they've just never been blurrier.
Yeah, and it's not just one type of person struggling with this. It's everyone, really, from like entry-level folks right up to seasoned execs. Everyone's grappling with it.
Do you pour your whole self into your work? Or do you try and carve out this separate protected space for everything else?
It's a fundamental choice, really. It shapes your daily experience, definitely, but
Yeah.
also your long-term sense of fulfillment.
Precisely. So today, we're embarking on a deep dive into two, well, profoundly different philosophies on this exact question. Think of us as your guides, maybe, each presenting a side of this really fascinating argument.
Okay.
On one side, we've got a path shaped by the principles of Stephen Covey, from the Seven Habits. This approach really champions what we're calling work-life integration.
Right. Integration.
Yeah, it's about seeing your work not as this distinct, isolated thing, but more as um, a meaningful expression of your deepest values, your personal mission, even your different roles in life, weaving purpose into your job.
Okay, so that's one side. Integration, what's the other?
Well, the other side, we'll explore ideas often associated with, say, Tim Ferriss's kind of thinking. This advocates for work-life separation, or maybe even escape for some.
Escape? That sounds dramatic.
Well, yeah, maybe. But the viewpoint suggests work is often, a necessary evil, something to be minimized, automated, maybe outsourced, basically anything to liberate time.
Okay. So the goal isn't finding purpose in the work itself.
Not primarily, no. It's more about creating abundant freedom from work. So you can pursue what you see as life's real joys, travel, adventure, learning, just more time with family, whatever it is for you.
Got it. It's about strategically reclaiming your time, your most precious resource, really.
Exactly. So what can you expect from this deep dive? We're going to unpack the core arguments of each philosophy. We've got a great stack of sources, foundational management stuff, economic theories, even some pretty powerful cautionary tales from, like, the tech and finance worlds.
Sounds comprehensive.
We hope so. Our mission, really, is to give you a clearer lens, help you examine your own ideal relationship between work and life. Hopefully offer some surprising facts, maybe some thought-provoking perspectives, and definitely practical nuggets of wisdom.
So listeners walk away with a better framework for making their own choices.
That's the idea, a robust framework for making conscious choices about your balance.
It really is a powerful dichotomy, isn't it? That deep human desire for meaning, for contribution through what we do.
Yeah, definitely.
Versus that equally powerful yearning for personal freedom, for autonomy, being unburdened by the demands of the clock or the boss.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to explore what drives these contrasting perspectives, what each might offer you, and maybe help you navigate this tension in your own life.
Okay, let's unpack this first perspective then. The case for work-life integration, heavily inspired by Stephen Covey's ideas.
Right.
Now, when we talk about integration, it's easy to misunderstand it, I think. People might think it just means working more hours or letting work bleed into everything.
Yeah, blurring boundaries without purpose.
Exactly. But at its heart, this isn't really about just efficiency or the quantity of work. It's about aligning your daily actions with something much, much deeper.
That's the critical distinction, absolutely. What's really insightful about Covey's core concept, from the Seven Habits, is this insistence on having an internal operating system.
An internal operating system,
Yeah.
like for a computer.
Sort of, yeah. He argues that the essence of, effective living is to align what you do every day with a changeless core of correct principles and values.
Okay, a changeless core.
In a world that's constantly changing, constantly disrupted, this personal constitution acts like a mental immune system almost. It stops you from just reacting to everything.
Yeah.
Instead, it anchors your decisions to something unchanging inside you.
So it's not just about doing things right, ticking boxes.
No, it's about doing the right things consistently based on that core.
So if this changeless core is our anchor, how does Covey suggest we actually, formalize it or articulate it? Is there a practical tool he gives us?
He absolutely does. And it's what he calls a personal mission statement, or even more powerfully, a personal constitution.
A personal constitution. That sounds serious.
It is. Think of it less like a list of goals, things you want to achieve this year,
Yeah.
and more like, say, the U.S. Constitution, a foundational document. One that, despite all the shifts in society, provides timeless strength. He points out, in over 200 years, the U.S. Constitution only had 26 amendments, and 10 of those were the Bill of Rights right at the start.
Huh. That's pretty stable.
It's incredible stability, right? And that's the kind of enduring quality he wants for our personal guiding document. This isn't some fleeting New Year's resolution. It's meant to be a deeply ingrained blueprint for your whole life.
And this personal constitution, then, it explicitly defines who you are, what you stand for, what you're aiming for across all parts of your life, your role.
Yes, exactly. It defines not just your aspirations, but your character, what kind of person you want to be.
Could you give us a flavor of what might be in one?
Sure. So such a statement might include things like, I will be a self-starting individual who exercises initiative, takes responsibility. Or maybe, my money will be my servant, not my master. I'll seek financial independence over time.
Okay, so practical stuff too.
Definitely. My wants will be subject to my needs and my means, but also broader things. Moreover, I will use what money and talents I have to make life more enjoyable for others through service and charitable giving.
Wow, so it really covers a lot of ground: financial, social, personal, professional.
Exactly. All viewed through the lens of your core principles.
What's really profound about this, reading Covey, is that this personal constitution, because it's based on these correct principles, as he calls them, it gives you timeless strength even when everything around you is changing fast.
Resilience.
Yeah, it lets you adapt, kind of flow with changes without needing prejudgments or constantly having to reevaluate reality from scratch.
Right, because your core is stable.
Without that changeless core, he argues, people might just become reactive, sort of giving up, hoping that the things that happen to them will be good.
Just drifting, basically.
Exactly. So it's about having these internal anchors in what can feel like a really turbulent world, giving you resilience against all that external chaos we face.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture of work, this perspective often elevates work beyond just, labor. If your daily actions are truly aligned with your deepest values, then work stops being just a job.
Right.
It transforms into something more like a calling, a profound source of fulfillment.
A calling.
Yeah, and it's a concept you see explored by thinkers from different times. Max Weber, for instance, talked about the ethic of the calling, how for many historically work took on this almost ascetic moral quality.
Not just about earning money.
No, not just economics. It was about expressing a deeper purpose, making a contribution that went beyond just themselves, a kind of duty.
And Weber points to people like Benjamin Franklin, right, as sort of embodying this disciplined, purposeful approach to productivity.
He does. Although it's interesting, Weber also notes how some people might see that intense focus as, filthy avarice.
Huh. Yeah. Depends on your perspective, I guess.
It really highlights how societal values shape how we see hard work, ambition, making money. It's a fascinating historical lens.
But this idea isn't just history, is it? Modern management thinkers, like Peter Drucker, they echo this too.
Absolutely. Drucker emphasizes that managers aren't just task doers. They're members of the leadership group. They carry professional ethics, responsibility.
So their work isn't just a checklist.
No, it's about management by objectives and self-control, aligning individual efforts towards common goals. Why? To prevent friction, frustration, and conflict in an organization.
Because everyone understands the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And their part in it.
Exactly. It fosters a sense of ownership, of purpose, not just following orders.
And Drucker takes it even further, doesn't he, with this idea of entrepreneurial management.
He does. He says it's not just for startups, for new ventures. Existing businesses, big or small, they need to cultivate this desire to innovate, these habits of entrepreneurship and innovation throughout the whole organization.
So it's not just about starting something new, it's about how you approach your current work.
Precisely. It's about continuous, purposeful engagement. Seeing your work as an ongoing act of creation, problem-solving, improvement, no matter what your role is. It's a call to bring your full creative self to the table.
Okay, so that's the philosophical underpinning.
Yeah.
Purpose, values, calling. How does this translate into day-to-day practice? How do you manage yourself strategically?
Right. Moving from the why to the how. This integration model really relies heavily on strategic self-management. And Covey's time management matrix is absolutely central here.
Ah, yes, the 4 quadrants. Urgent, important.
Exactly, and it's much more profound than just a simple to-do list. He urges us to distinguish between what's truly important tasks that align with our mission, our values, our long-term goals.
The stuff that really matters.
Yeah, and what's merely urgent, things demanding immediate attention, often driven by external pressures like emails pinging or someone else's deadline.
And the key insight is?
Focus relentlessly on what he calls quadrant 2 activities, those things that are important, but not urgent.
The non-urgent important stuff, like
Like proactive planning, building and maintaining key relationships, continuous learning, personal development, even strategic recreation or self-renewal. Sharpening the saw, as he calls it.
Sharpening the saw. I like that.
These are the activities that, when you do them consistently, actually prevent those quadrant I crises, the urgent and important problems, from blowing up in the first place.
So being proactive instead of reactive.
Exactly. He argues if we neglect quadrant 2, we'll just be perpetually consumed by quadrant 1, constantly firefighting, feeling like we're just reacting to life, not creating it.
That makes a lot of sense. Constantly putting out fires is exhausting.
And this proactive approach is key to maintaining what Covey calls PPC balance.
PPC balance, what's that?
Think of it like running a marathon. P is production, the results, the output, the miles run right now.
Okay.
PC is production capability, the asset that creates that output. Your health, your energy, your running shoes, your training plan.
Ah, right. Your ability to keep producing.
Exactly. If all you do is sprint flat out at the start, maximizing P, you'll burn out. You deplete your PC, your ability to sustain the effort. Covey says our lives and careers are the same. Quadrant 2 activities are about maintaining and enhancing that PC asset, your health, relationships, skills.
It's the difference between just chopping wood and taking time to sharpen the axe.
Perfectly put. If you neglect the axe sharpening PC, eventually your wood chopping P grinds to a halt. It's about sustainable effectiveness, not just short-term bursts.
That axe analogy really sticks. And there are other ideas that complement this, right? Like finding your sweet spot.
Yes, absolutely. Some research highlights identifying your sweet spot activities. These are the tasks that give you feelings of like effectiveness, effortless absorption, real fulfillment, the things that genuinely light you up.
The stuff you actually enjoy and are good at.
Pretty much. The idea is to consciously find ways to do more of these. Allocate your precious time and energy to what truly energizes you, not just what screams the loudest.
Like that example of the executive who hated sales reports.
Exactly. Hated them, dreaded them. So they delegated them to someone on their team who actually loved digging into that kind of data. It freed up the executive to focus on their own sweet spot. It's about self-awareness and smart delegation.
But to actually do those sweet spot activities or the quadrant 2 stuff, you need focus, right?
Right.
In today's world, that's hard.
Incredibly hard, which is where ideas like deep work come in. Cal Newport talks about strategies like scheduling your internet use, implementing dedicated offline blocks.
Not avoiding the internet entirely, though.
No, not necessarily. It's about being intentional. Creating protected time and space for high concentration tasks, resisting that constant pull of digital noise, the context switching that fragments our attention. That's how you enhance effectiveness and allow for that deep, meaningful engagement that integration requires.
And underlying all of this, the planning, the focus, the effort, is mindset, isn't it?
Hugely important. Carol Dweck's work on growth mindset is key here. Believing that your talents, your abilities aren't fixed but can be developed through dedication and hard work.
Instead of a fixed mindset where you think you're either good at something or you're not.
Exactly. A growth mindset lets you see work and challenges not as tests you might fail, but as opportunities. Opportunities for continuous personal development, for learning.
So obstacles become learning experiences.
Right. Which fosters long-term engagement, satisfaction. The journey itself becomes part of the reward, not just the end result. You're always growing.
Okay, so we have principles, purpose, self-management, mindset. What else ties this integration philosophy together?
The final crucial piece is the power of relationships and contribution. It's not just about you, your productivity, your values in isolation.
Right, we don't exist in a vacuum.
Precisely. Drucker, again, highlights the need for responsibility for relationships. Recognizing, valuing the strengths, the working styles, the values of your coworkers. Your effectiveness is deeply tangled up with how you connect and collaborate.
Building that web of mutual respect.
And Covey hammers this home with Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Classic. Listen first.
Yeah. But it's more than just good manners. He sees it as a cornerstone of public victory, success in interdependent situations. It involves truly listening empathically, giving the other person what he calls psychological air,
Psychological error. What's that?
that profound human need to feel heard, understood, validated, appreciated. You know that feeling when you're talking and you realize the other person isn't just waiting to jump in with their own point.
Yeah, they're actually listening, trying to get where you're coming from.
Exactly. That's giving psychological air. Covey even says to be trusted is greater than to be loved, because trust is the absolute foundation for any real collaboration or synergy.
That's powerful. Trust over love in that context.
It builds the foundation where the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. And you see this play out in high-performance cultures. Jim Collins talks about catalytic mechanisms.
Like the Nucor Steel example.
Exactly. Where management usually doesn't fire unproductive workers. The workers do. The team enforces the standards.
Wow. Peer pressure, but in a good way.
Kind of. It shows how integration can lead to collective excellence, mutual accountability. It's not just about individual drive. It's a shared commitment born from shared purpose and responsibility. Everyone feels invested.
It really pulls it all together, doesn't it? Individual effort, relationships, shared values, all coalescing. The idea is that when work aligns with who you are, what you care about, it stops being a separate burden.
It becomes a vital, fulfilling, interconnected part of your whole life, finding meaning in the process itself.
Okay, so that's the integration argument. Deeply embedding work into a life of purpose. Now, let's pivot. Let's look at the other side of this coin. The case for work-life separation, or maybe even escape.
Right, the liberation model.
Yeah, liberation. This philosophy, often championed by thinkers like, say, Tim Ferriss, takes a profoundly different angle. The main goal here isn't integration. It's, well, freedom.
Freedom from work, primarily.
Exactly. It's about radically rethinking how work fits into your life, or maybe how it doesn't dominate it.
The core idea here, really, is seeing work strategically. It's a means to an end. And that end is usually gaining the freedom to pursue other things, leisure, adventure, passions, whatever.
And often financial independence is key to that freedom, right?
Absolutely crucial. The Millionaire Next Door illustrates this so well. It shows that real wealth, the kind that buys freedom, often comes not from a massive income, but from disciplined saving and investing. Frugality, almost.
Living below your means.
Definitely. Many millionaires profiled in the book lived on one income and saved the other. They prioritized financial security over status symbols like fancy cars or huge houses.
And this disciplined saving leads to
Genuine financial independence. And significantly, the book points out that the journey to wealth is often more satisfying than the destination itself.
why is that?
Because it offers a gradual, increasing sense of control over your time, your choices. You feel less trapped month by month.
That makes sense. It's a stark contrast to that Dr. Ashton example in the book. Huge income, something like $560,000 a year.
Yeah, massive income. But his net worth was only just over $1 million because of his high consumption lifestyle.
So if he stopped working?
He could maybe only sustain himself for 2 or 3 years. It really drives home the point. High income doesn't automatically equal freedom. It can be a golden cage.
Trapped by the lifestyle.
Exactly. Whereas early financial prudence, even someone like Benjamin Franklin aiming to get a little money beforehand, reflects this pragmatic desire for security first. It enables more freedom later by reducing financial pressure. It's about setting yourself free from the demands of work, not finding your identity in it.
Okay, so financial independence is the foundation. How does this approach deal with the work itself?
It relies heavily on strategic automation and efficiency. Working smarter, definitely not harder, and certainly not longer if you can help it.
Minimize the time spent.
Minimize the time spent on income-generating tasks, yes.
Yeah.
Leverage every tool you can. Technology is obviously huge here.
Like automating processes.
Yeah. There's an interesting parallel in financial services, where tech frees up advisors from heavy computation and admin.
So they can focus on relationship building.
Exactly. And you can apply that principle broadly. Identify tasks you can automate, outsource, or streamline to claw back more free time. It's about defining in advance the best use of those tools to serve your ultimate goal, which is liberation.
So use tech to minimize the drudgery, free up hours. And it's not just what you automate, but also how you manage your time and attention when you're working.
Absolutely. Even ideas from the deep work camp can be used here, maybe slightly differently, like scheduling specific guilt-free time for non-work pursuits.
So consciously separating.
Yes. Intentional boundaries. Work time is work time focused and efficient. Leisure time is leisure time, truly restorative, not constantly interrupted or shadowed by work worries. Make enjoyment a priority once the work is done.
Clear lines, not blurred ones.
Right. And this perspective also fundamentally challenges that whole more work equals more good paradigm, the grind culture.
The hustle culture idea.
Yeah, it directly questions it. John Maynard Keynes, way back, pointed out this tension. A point comes where every individual weighs the advantages of increased leisure against increased income.
Leisure versus income.
And he observed back then that the great majority would prefer increased income to increased leisure.
And the Ferris-style philosophy flips that.
It directly challenges it, argues for a radical reevaluation of leisure's value, suggesting it often outweighs the marginal benefit of just earning more and more money. It asks you, what's your time really worth? Is another dollar worth another hour of your life?
That's a confronting question for a lot of people.
It is. And Peter Thiel adds another interesting layer in 0 to 1. He talks about CEO pay.
Oh, yeah. How does that connect?
He argues that a company does better the less it pays the CEO. Why? Because high pay can incentivize the CEO to just defend the status quo, protect their salary, act like a politician, not a founder.
Whereas a cash-poor executive
Will be focused on increasing the value of the whole company, which benefits everyone, including eventually themselves through equity or future opportunities.
So decoupling your immediate income from a massive salary might actually lead to more freedom or wealth long-term.
Potentially, yes. It suggests aligning your finances strategically, not just grabbing the biggest paycheck, might be the smarter way to avoid those golden handcuffs of a high-paying but all-consuming job. It's about securing long-term liberation.
Okay, so the philosophy is about freedom, efficiency, questioning the work good mantra. What about the downsides of not separating? What are the cautionary tales?
Ah, yes. The dark side of all-consuming work is crucial to understanding the appeal of escape. Because while integration can be fulfilling, extreme integration or just blurring lines without clear purpose can be incredibly destructive.
Like the Elon Musk stories.
Exactly. His narrative offers a really stark warning. Obviously, incredible innovation drive, but also reports of running out of money at critical times, verging on a nervous breakdown.
The pressure must have been immense.
Unbelievable. Like the Roadster development costing $140 million, way over the $25 million estimate. Plus accusations of overhyping things. It showcases the potential, often severe personal cost, when work completely swamps your life, even for a visionary.
It's a clear sign that even massive success can come at an unsustainable personal price.
Definitely highlights the risks of a life totally consumed by work demands. And it's not just financial strain or stress either. Think about the Enron story, Jeff Skilling.
Right, the smartest guys in the room. He seemed like the ultimate integrated exec at first.
Totally. But then, despite the public face, he apparently confided things like, I hate what I'm doing, I wasn't having fun anymore.
The pressure of maintaining the facade.
The immense mental toll of maintaining the illusion of success while confronting the darker reality of what was happening at Enron. It led to profound exhaustion, burnout.
So a deeply integrated work life, especially if it's tied to something unethical or just fundamentally broken, can lead to utter misery.
And a powerful desire to just escape. He eventually resigned, citing personal reasons, but the story suggests it was much more about disillusionment and exhaustion.
So what kind of environments breed that desire for escape?
Well, some work cultures are just inherently brutal or toxic. Think about the picture painted in Liar's Poker of Wall Street back in the 80s.
High stakes, ruthless.
Totally. Traders gorging itself on the windfall, often with little real vision, intense competition, a relentless focus on short-term gains, often questionable ethics. That's the kind of work-life experience you might desperately want to minimize or just get away from entirely.
Yeah, the description of the best producers being cutthroat, competitive, often neurotic and paranoid.
Leading to internal fights and market instability. It's not just demanding, it sounds soul-crushing for many.
The idea of willingly trying to integrate your life into that kind of environment certainly makes you see the appeal of wanting out.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that some workplaces are just fundamentally misaligned with your well-being. Instead of forcing integration into a toxic setting, the healthier, smarter choice might be to minimize engagement, create boundaries, or plan a strategic exit.
Reclaim your personal sovereignty.
Exactly. Define your own terms of engagement with work. Prioritize your well-being, your freedom, above the demands of a profession that might be crushing you.
So while integration sees work as a path to fulfillment,
Separation sees it more pragmatically,
hmm,
as a tool, something to be wielded strategically to buy back your time, your freedom, your ability to craft a life rich in experiences outside of work, less joy in the office, more joy enabled by smart, minimal work.
okay, so we've looked deep into these two powerful and, yeah, seemingly opposing views. Covey's integration, purpose, values, contribution, and the Ferris-inspired separation or escape, freedom, efficiency, minimizing the grind.
Two very different lenses on work and life.
But here's where I think this deep dive gets really interesting. Do we have to choose? Is it really strictly either?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And what's fascinating is that trying to pick just one extreme often leaves people feeling, well, incomplete. Something's missing.
So maybe it's not about choosing sides.
Maybe not. Perhaps the focus on ruthless efficiency, automation, outsourcing the stuff often associated with Ferris provides the means. The practical how-to to gain back time and control.
Okay, the tools.
And that regained control, that liberated time, then enables the pursuit of meaningful contribution, personal growth, the things Covey champions, the what for.
Ah, so one serves the other.
Potentially, yeah.
Right.
Think of it as a dynamic balance. The practical strategic tools of separation can effectively serve the higher purposeful goals of integration. It's about building bridges between the two ideas, not walls.
I really like that framing, leveraging efficiency tactics to create space for intentional, value-aligned living. And thinking back to those sweet spot activities we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, the ones that bring effectiveness, flow, fulfillment.
Those aren't confined to just work or just leisure, are they? They can exist in both.
Exactly, which suggests a truly integrated life might be one where your chosen activities, whatever label we put on them, are deeply engaging and aligned with your personal values.
So it's about merging the best of both worlds into something customized, finding flow and meaning wherever you choose to invest your energy.
Precisely. A personalized approach. And this ties into the idea of personalized growth trajectories.
Growth trajectories, like in Radical Candor.
Yeah. The book talks about needing a mix of rock stars, people providing stability, excelling consistently, and superstars, people focused on rapid growth, new challenges within a team.
How does that apply personally?
You can apply it directly to your own life. Sometimes maybe stability and contentment are your primary goals. You're in a rock star phase personally. Other times you might crave radical growth or significant change, a superstar phase.
And neither is inherently better.
No, there's no single ideal trajectory for everyone. And crucially, your own ideal trajectory can and probably will evolve over time. What matters is recognizing where you are on your personal growth journey and what you need now.
That's such a crucial point. What works for you today might not work next year, let alone for someone else. That idea that there's one universal best way to live or work is just wrong.
It's a total myth. There's that powerful line from The Hard Thing About Hard Things. There is no such thing as a great executive. There is only a great executive for a specific company at a specific point in time.
Right. The Zuckerberg versus Ellison example.
Exactly. Zuckerberg, phenomenal for Facebook's growth phase, probably wouldn't be right for Oracle. Ellison, great for Oracle's mature phase, probably wouldn't have been right for early Facebook.
Different skills, different contexts.
Totally. It just underscores how highly individualized these career and life choices are. It encourages you to seek your right fit, your ideal path, not just copy someone else or follow some generic blueprint. It's about self-knowledge and understanding your context.
But how do we make these really personal choices effectively, given how complex it all is? Feels like our intuition could lead us astray.
It definitely can. This is where conscious choice and critical thinking become absolutely vital. We know from work on cognitive biases, thinking fast and slow, or the Black Swan, just how fragile our intuitions can be.
Our brains play tricks on us.
They do. Our perceptions of opportunities, risks, what constitutes a good life, they can be seriously skewed by these biases. We make emotionally driven choices, not always rational ones.
Can you give an example? How might a bias trip us up in deciding our work-life approach?
Sure. Take anchoring bias. We might anchor our idea of a good job to the first high salary we're offered or to what our peers are doing.
Even if the job itself isn't a great fit.
Right. Even if it doesn't align with our values or our desire for freedom long term. We then judge other options against that initial anchor, maybe overlooking something that would actually make us happier or more fulfilled just because the starting salary isn't as high.
Or confirmation bias. Sticking to a path just because we chose it.
Exactly. Once we decide, say, integration is the only way, we tend to seek out stories and evidence that confirm that belief and subconsciously ignore things that challenge it. It takes real conscious effort to step back, question those assumptions, and genuinely explore what truly aligns with you, biases and all.
So it's about pausing,
Mm.
really examining our assumptions, not just drifting or doing what society expects, being the architect of our own life.
Beautifully put. Being the architect. There's a line about harnessing our conscious ability to thoughtfully and imaginatively choose those ambitions and to define in advance the best use of those tools. It highlights our agency. We can shape our work-life relationship.
Rather than just passively accepting it.
Yes, taking the initiative to design a life that aligns with your unique vision, maybe borrowing wisdom from the integration side and strategic freedom from the separation side, crafting something bespoke.
Ultimately, then, the most effective path isn't about choosing a side in this debate. Integration versus separation.
Probably not. It seems more about building a framework that is uniquely, authentically yours. Understanding the principles behind both approaches, and then consciously selecting the tools, the strategies, the mindsets that serve your evolving values and ambitions right now.
A continuous negotiation.
A dynamic negotiation, exactly. With yourself, with the world around you. It's not a static destination you arrive at. It's an ongoing process.
Okay, so we've navigated these powerful philosophies. Work-life integration purpose, values, contribution, and work-life separation or escape freedom, efficiency, minimizing toil.
We've seen how those Covey-inspired principles can ground us, give us that internal compass, while the Ferris-esque ideas push towards strategic minimalism, automation, giving us the levers of time and freedom.
And crucially, we've explored how they might not be mutually exclusive at all.
In fact, they can be deeply complementary, can't they? The efficiency you gain from smart separation can free up the time and energy you need to pursue those sweet spot activities, those purposeful contributions that integration holds dear.
It's a dynamic, personalized process, always adapting, not one size fits all.
Definitely not. Constantly adapting to your life stages, your changing priorities, your evolving understanding of what matters most to you.
So, wrapping this up, what does this deep dive mean for you, the listener? Is this ideal relationship between work and life some fixed destination you just have to strive for? Or is it more like a dynamic, ongoing negotiation based on your evolving values, your circumstances, the tools you choose to use?
Maybe true mastery here isn't about choosing one extreme or the other. Maybe it lies in the wisdom to integrate the most powerful elements of both approaches.
Into a life that is uniquely, authentically, and effectively yours.
Exactly. So the question becomes, what does your personal mission statement, whether written down or just deeply felt, tell you about the balance you're seeking right now? And maybe more importantly, what's one intentional step you can take next to start cultivating it?